Welcome back to the School of HardKnox podcast. On this week's show, we're talking about getting into alignment. Yeah, you just gonna have to listen. Trust me. It is time to get on the bus because class is in session. This is episode 148 of the School of HardKnox podcast, and it starts now. Thank you for listening to the School of HardKnox podcast. This show is about personal development for business success. Not only do we tell the stories of successful people in order to create more successful people, we want to help you turn your thoughts and ideas into reasonable, rational, and profitable action. This show is about my life experiences, your life experiences, and how we can work together to become the best versions of ourselves. Prepare to be inspired, motivated, and most importantly, challenged. Enjoy the show. Welcome back to the School of HardKnox podcast. Your host, Mark W. Knox, coming to you from Red Room Studios on this snowy Monday. Yeah, it's pretty cold outside. It's pretty snowy outside. We are bunkered down, just enjoying the family, enjoying the time together, and figure we'd get a pod out of it right quick, right? We get a pod. Hey, before we really get into today's meat and potatoes, I wanted to really, first of all, thank everybody for reaching out. I thank everybody for all the well wishes, all the encouragement, letting me know that I was missed. Thank you very much. Letting me know that, hey, the pod is back. Glad to hear you. Glad to hear your voice. Glad to see you back. That's really why it was important for me to be silent, right? Is because I had to answer that one question during that time period, during those 945 days. One of the biggest questions: Will people actually miss me, right? Will people miss my voice? Will people miss my perspective, the lessons that I've been through that I try to translate and teach to you all? Ultimately, will people miss the school? Will they miss the School of HardKnox? And that has been answered with a resounding yes. And I sincerely appreciate everybody who has reached out. I need to hear more, right? I need to hear from you more. And I want to hear what you want to talk about. I want to hear what you want to know about, what you're going through. Like, I want to hear that stuff, right? So I'm going to give you a couple points of contact for me. The first, listen, I'm just going to keep it so basic. Just send me an email or send me a direct message on Instagram. So on Instagram, I'm at the School of HardKnox, KNOX. And then if you want to email me, my email address is mark.w.knox@gmail.com. And we can have dialogue there. As I am rebuilding or continuing to build Knox Nation, which is all of you, all of the viewers, all of the listeners, we want to establish some community, right? Because I think community and being in community with individuals that you trust, being in community with individuals that often have the same ideas and opinions, I think is going to be very, very useful. It's going to be very helpful, and it's going to be very healthy as we continue in this world, right? And more specifically, as we continue in these United States of America with all the things that's going on around us. We need to be in community with people that we trust. We need to be in community with people that want the best for us, with people that are looking out for us, with people that, want us to prosper, want us to progress, right? And again, it's extremely important. It's extremely important that we, we in Red Room Studios. We just had an intruder alert. Buddy snuck up on me quick. That was Khalil. He snuck up on me quick. His big brother tried to warn him, like, yo, daddy recording, don't go in there. He didn't get the memo. So, Cece jumped up and got him. Listen, that's how we roll. Like, this is a family thing. Like, I'm at home. Like, I'm not about to act like we're in a studio and it's silence. No, we got 3 kids under the age of 10. We got a dog. Like, quit playing. Like, it might be interruptions from here to right. Like, That's life. That's what I'm dealing with. Anyway, next generation loading, right? He trying to come in here and see what the pod talking about. But again, I need to hear from you, right? So mark.w.knox@gmail.com or at the School of HardKnox on Instagram. Send me those direct messages. If you have my cell, text me and let's talk. I would love to get your topics, what you want to hear about, what you want to talk about on the show. The other thing I want to remind you of is the YouTube element that we are launching right now. The YouTube element I am recording. My goal is to record video for every single show. We want to record video for every single show. So the first episode, I tried to record video, but it didn't quite come out correct. It looked like I was in a hostage video. Right? Like it was all grainy looking. The lighting was bad. We're going to get better and better each and every week. Obviously better camera equipment, better lighting. You know, we had to do a lot to kind of figure out the background and things like that. So it's much different. Like before, when I was recording, it was literally just my voice. I could literally sit at my desk. I could sit pretty much anywhere in the house that was quiet. I grab my laptop, my USB microphone, and I hit record, right? And I just go for it. But now with the way the things are changing and engagement is changing as far as the podcast landscape, we want to make sure that we have a video element. So you can watch us on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is same thing, the School of HardKnox, KNOX. So today or this week, I want to talk about alignment, right? I want to talk about getting into alignment, and I want to talk about my journey of getting into alignment and continuing to get into alignment. And then I want to talk about how important it is to make sure that the different buckets of your life, the different elements of your life are in agreement with each other, right? So first things first, like what is alignment? You know what I mean? What am I actually saying? We all know, or most of us know, that when you drive a vehicle, right, specifically, especially a front wheel drive car, alignment is critical to the way that the car moves and the direction that the car moves in. When you're driving a vehicle that is out of alignment, and I'll tell you, because if this is you and you're driving right now, don't do this unless you're in a safe place, a safe environment. But when you're driving a car that's out of alignment, when you take your both hands off the wheel, that car is going to drift or veer to the right or to the left by itself, right? You'll also know that in order for you to go straight, your steering wheel typically is exactly, the logo on the steering wheel is exactly where it's supposed to be. It's right in the middle. It's not tilted to the left, not tilted to the right. It's right in the middle. If your car is in alignment, when your steering wheel is right in the middle, the car will go straight. If your car is out of alignment, in order to go straight, you have to make an adjustment to your steering wheel that will put that logo in the middle of the wheel slightly tilted to the left or to the right, right? Maybe just a few degrees. Sometimes if you're in a really old car, it may be several degrees of rotation that your steering wheel has to achieve in order for you to go straight. Now, I want you to keep that in your mind about when we're talking about alignment, because in order for you to go straight, all things have to be balanced. All things have to be correctly measured and correctly configured for you to go straight, especially with minimal effort. Okay. So alignment, as it relates to life, as it relates to what I'm talking about today, really puts us in a mood of examining the buckets that we live in, the buckets that we work in. We had G. Horton on the show many years ago. This was like 2019 when we first launched. And one of the things that G. Horton said, remember the artist, G. Horton, phenomenal interview. One of the things that he said when I asked him about, man, how do you balance all these things? Fatherhood, marriage, corporate job, your artistic abilities. And he was like, I work in buckets, right? And ever since he said that, I've kind of grasped that philosophy of working in buckets or working in groups, right? And I know Some people will say, well, yeah, you're a man. It's easy for you to compartmentalize things. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. But for me, I look at my life as really individual sectors, right? Individual sectors. So first and foremost, I got the spiritual sector, right? The spiritual sector comprises of my relationship with my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, right? It is my everyday journey and walk and strive to appear and to be and to act like Christ, right? So that is my one-to-one relationship. That is the basis of the alignment, is the spiritual piece, okay? The second piece is going to be my marriage, right? So we've got the spiritual, I've got my marriage that has to stay in alignment. And as we add things to this list, each thing has to be in alignment with the thing that preceded it. Okay. So spirituality is number one. If that's out of alignment, then my marriage naturally is going to be out of alignment because it's connecting to the spiritual. After the marriage is going to be fatherhood. It's going to be my family, my children, right? So again, we got the spiritual, which has to be straight. Then we've got the marriage, which has to be aligned with the spiritual. Then we've got fatherhood and family, which have to be aligned with the marriage, which is also aligned to the spiritual. You see what I'm saying? Keep on going down the line. The next one is going to be my businesses. Okay. My businesses have to be in alignment with how I relate to my children, the amount of time I spend with them, the way that I'm able to provide for them, and the way that I'm creating a legacy for them, which has to be in alignment with my marriage, which has to be in alignment with my spiritual walk. I think you get it. I think you're understanding where I'm coming from. When we talk about alignment, we are talking about less geometry of a straight line, visibly a straight line, and more so talking about how those different areas complement each other. Okay. So for example, behind me, I have a book called The 7 Stages of Marriage. That book is probably the catalyst of what a lot of my marriage is built upon, being able to identify those individual stages that we're in. Now, the book is not written from a place of like a worldly perspective. Like, it's written from a place of spiritual, right? So my marriage is built upon my spiritual walk. Okay. When I think about being a father, I think about the only way for me to be a good father, first and foremost, is to be a good husband, right? Because my kids come from who? My wife. So if I can't honor my wife, then I'm naturally not going to be able to appreciate and view my kids as a gift, partially from my wife. See what I'm saying? A gift from God and from my wife. Then I look at my business. Again, it's not about a visible straight line. It's about complementing. So my business partner is also a man of God, right? So I have to make sure that my business partner is doing what he needs to be doing, or is doing what he says he's doing as far as his walk, and investing in his walk, and also investing in my walk, right? Because if my business partner is out of alignment with the business, or if I'm out of alignment with the business, that's going to affect how we parent, because it's going to affect how we provide. It's going to affect the amount of time we can spend, which is also going to put more pressure on our marriages. You see what I'm saying? Like, we're building this thing, which is also going to affect the full circle moment of our spiritual walk. Alignment is the most critical aspect of managing your life, because that's basically what you're doing. As someone who is alive and someone who is moving through this earth, you are charged with managing your life. And those who are able to manage every aspect of their life to complement every other aspect of their life, they live in alignment, right? They cannot identify a weakest link in that alignment, because everything is complementing each other. Everything is holding everything else together. It's holding everything else up, right? It's kind of like You ever seen somebody with just an absolute, just beautiful smile? Just got a beautiful smile. You got nice, straight, clean, white teeth. You got a beautiful smile. Now imagine that same beautiful smile, and one of them front teeth is just completely cracked, gone, missing. You see what I'm saying? Like, no. It's a beautiful smile. It's not beautiful teeth. It's not beautiful tooth. It's beautiful smile, because all the teeth make up a smile. You see what I'm saying? So all of those different aspects of your life make up your life. So yes, you can invest in more areas in certain times, in certain seasons, areas that need more attention, areas that you need to bring into more of alignment. You can do that. But once you start inadvertently neglecting a different area of your life, things will naturally fall out of alignment. We want to make sure, and when I say we, me and the people that love you, your stakeholders, the people that rely on you, we want to make sure that the things that you set forth in your life that you call important, we want to make sure that those things are in alignment with each other. So guess what? You can have the most, actually you can't. That's actually impossible. I can't even say that. What I was about to say was, you can be the most spiritual person ever, but your marriage will be tore up. But you can't. Like, that's false. Like, you can't. Like, if you're the most spiritual person ever, then your marriage is not tore up because you're the most spiritual person ever. But you can be the best husband ever and be a terrible dad. Or you could be the best dad ever and not be a good husband. Or you could be a great, successful businessman and be a terrible dad. You understand what I'm saying? Because you've invested or you've spent too much time in one of those areas, which inadvertently made you neglect another area. So we're talking about alignment. I used to use the word balance for this same concept. Nope. I'm not saying balance anymore. Somebody corrected me on Facebook one time when they seen the clip. We was talking about balance and they was like, nah, I don't even mess with balance. I like equilibrium is better. And I was like, okay, I can mess with equilibrium. Balance, they say, is you're constantly moving and it's exhausting because they're like, you're balancing, it's a balancing act, right? And I was like, I get that. They were saying equilibrium is literally finding that space where things are equal, where you're not having to put a ton of energy. And I was like, okay, that's cool. But I even think with an equilibrium, I still think equilibrium allows you too much latitude to invest in certain areas more than others, right? So I'm gonna take a quick break and we're gonna come back, continue this conversation.
Knox Nation, quick question. When was the last time you got a break and your kids got their hair done right? That's what we help you do at Crown Kids Healthy Hair Care Salon. Clean parts, healthy hair routines, and a team that knows how to keep kids calm, comfortable, and confident. Yes, we even help our sensory sensitive kiddos. We are located inside of Liberty Mall, just north of Cincinnati, Ohio. Book your next hair appointment, hair party, or group class with Crown Kids, and let's keep those crowns looking right. For more information, just visit us at crownkidshair.com. Again, that's crownkidshair.com.
And we back. So we talking about balance, equilibrium, alignment, right? When I talk about alignment versus equilibrium, alignment is different, right? Alignment, here you go. I got it. Alignment makes every aspect of your life hold all the other aspects of your life accountable to each other. So when you're in alignment, not only are you working in buckets, and yes, things are separate. However, the things that are in those buckets have to be compatible and have to communicate with the other things that are in the other buckets. Here you go. Your spiritual walk has to be able to communicate and influence your marriage. Your marriage has to be able to communicate to and influence your fatherhood or your parenting. Your parenting and your marriage have to be able to communicate and influence your business. right? I really do hope that makes sense. All of those things have to be in concert with each other. They have to be in orchestra with each other, working together. Because if one starts to slip, then the orchestra or the concert, the sound, the result, the fruit, it's not coming out exactly how it's supposed to or how you imagined it. Because one of those areas is out of whack. Like I can tell you from personal, right? So over the course of the past 18 months that I've been full-time entrepreneur at Pixel Audio Video as a COO and co-founder, I've had to put a lot more energy into the business, into my career than I used to, like just flat out. Like when I had a W-2 position, like I used to say that I get paid like hundreds of dollars per hour because I could literally do all the tasks plus hit all my metrics and all my numbers and probably work 4 hours a day. Like that was just what it was, right? I could go on a business trip, have a couple meetings and be, almost quota if I do that enough times, right? It didn't require a ton of effort, to be completely honest. I was really good at it, which just made me not have to just grind when it came to the W-2. Well, Pixel Audio Video, much different. Each day, I have to will myself to wake up, to report somewhere, whether it's the distributor, whether it's a job site, whether it's a meeting. I got to report somewhere, whether it's to my desk upstairs in my office to do admin stuff. I got to will myself to report because nobody is telling me, hey, you need to go to work today, right? Or we're not going to pay you. Like nobody's saying that. I have to go out into the field and do field operation, do installs, manage installs, schedule installs, order product, do all these things project management wise, go meet with clients, create quotes, close quotes, so on and so forth. Then we got a whole nother aspect that's business development where we got to go to these meetings and these chamber events and all these other things. All right. I find myself more times than not on a Friday afternoon sitting at my desk at 5:30, finishing up something for the week, whether it's a quote, whether it's sending out follow-up emails. Never had to do that ever when I was W-2 guy. Matter of fact, on Fridays, I think I mailed it in right around noon every week. I just didn't have there was nothing else, right? Nobody was answering the phones. Nobody was responding to email. In the industry that I'm in, I guess that's just what they do. So I didn't have to do much, right? So what did that allow me to do? Well, it allowed me to have some personal time. Then it allowed me to pick the kids up from the bus stop, spend some time with them, go kick it, toss the football, whatever. It's a little different now. Now I find myself investing more time and more energy into the business on a daily basis because I have to, because it demands that, right? However, I still have to maintain my alignment as being a father and as being a husband. So I still have to know when to shut it down. I'll give you an example. One of the things that I am most proud of, and my business partner Trey will tell you the same exact thing, we are most proud of from Pixel Audio Video is that we have not had to work a Saturday or a Sunday in 18 months. We are proud of the fact that we prioritize our family, our marriage, and our spiritual life to where we don't work on the weekends. Now, we are still available for clients that need troubleshooting via text and email, and we can usually remote into their systems and fix the problem. But when I say work, we have never been on job site. We don't do any installs. We don't work on the weekends. That is a principle of our company. One of the reasons because Saturday is reserved for our families. Saturday is reserved for me to spend time with my wife, for me to spend time with my children, to get up to make breakfast, to do soccer, to do flag football, to do the mall, whatever we want to do. That's what Saturday is. Sunday is reserved for worship. So we wake up, we eat breakfast, we go to church, then we have family time. We don't work on the weekends. That's what I mean when I say alignment. Because our business is communicating and influencing the way we parent and the way we relate to our wives. Because it's based on our spiritual walk. So I just wanted to, I wanted to just leave you with that, because I feel like as we move into 2026, as we move into 2026 and as we start to realize how important it is for us to be present and how important it is for us to progress, we don't want to do it at the expense of anything else. We don't want to have a testimony and a story at the end talking about all these sacrifices I made to build my company. I don't want to hear all of that. Those sacrifices are actual people. Those sacrifices are relationships. Those sacrifices are your children's childhood. That's not nothing to be proud of. Like, let's bring this thing into alignment. Let's achieve some equilibrium. Let's achieve some concert, some orchestra. Let's have all of these things work together. Instead of trying to be super businessman and you ain't paying no attention to your kids, or you trying to be super dad but you neglecting your wife, or you trying to be the minister of all ministers and the pastor of all pastors, and you neglecting your kids. Like, I'm trying to explain to you, that's not nothing to be proud of. And that's also not the will of God. He wants you to take care of the gifts that he's given you, the people that he's put in your life, the people you're responsible for. So let's check ourselves. Let's check ourselves. Right. So listen, we're going to take one more quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to do a new segment. Yeah, that's right. We're going to do a new segment. And then we're going to get out of here for the week. All right. We'll be right back. All right. School of HardKnox podcast. We back. Listen, we're talking about alignment, but as we close out today's show, I got a new segment that I'm going to start doing at the end of every show. The new segment is called Extra Credit. Extra credit. Now, here's what extra credit is not. And this is kind of where we messed up in school. Extra credit is not just doing more work just to do it. It's not just busy work. Extra credit is not just extra. Extra credit is doing what others are not willing to do. You understand that? That's why they call it extra credit, because you're looking for credit, but you got to do something extra. What other people not willing to do. If everybody's willing to do it, it wouldn't be extra credit. It would just be part of the curriculum. So extra credit. Extra credit is where I'm going to literally give you an assignment. I'm going to give you a challenge for the week that I want you to take seriously. If you are a part of Knox Nation, if you are part of our loyal base of listeners and viewers on YouTube, on Apple Music, whatever, I want you to take it serious. This could be that moment for you where you take 10 to 15 minutes to really sit down and chew on what's being offered from the School of HardKnox. Okay. So here we go. Extra credit. I want you to think about what I'm about to say. Okay. I want you to think about what I'm about to say as it relates to alignment. Now, I already told you that when it comes to me, specifically, when it comes to me, I got spirituality, I got marriage, I got parenthood, I got business. Now, the podcast and my personal walk cannot be separated from any of those things. It is ingrained in each one of those aspects. The operation of doing the podcast, the act of doing the podcast probably falls around 7 or 8 on that list. Don't really know. Haven't really thought that far about it. However, the things that I talk about in the podcast, the goal of the podcast is based on those first 4 things. It's based on spiritual walk, marriage, parenthood, and business. Okay. So when we talk about where all of this comes from, I just told you. I just told you. So what I'm about to give you right now is some spiritual, and I want you to chew on it. That's what we doing. Okay. That's what we doing. All right. Here's one of my affirmations. I got daily affirmations. Like, we'll talk about that in the later show, but I got daily affirmations, right? One of my affirmations is, I do not confuse urgency with importance. I move with wisdom, not panic. I'm going to say that one more time. I do not confuse urgency with importance. I move with wisdom, not panic. So then if we go a little bit deeper, we're looking at Proverbs 19:2. Proverbs 19:2. Desire without knowledge is not good. How much more will hasty feet miss the way? So listen, as you're on your journey, as you're on your walk, as you're trying to progress. And if you're not trying to progress, this is probably not the podcast for you. Just being honest. If you're trying to get better, if you're trying to be the best version of yourself so you can present in rooms with people you love and people you care for and trust, this is the show for you. As you're moving in that walk, don't confuse urgency. Don't confuse urgency with, importance. Just because you're moving fast, don't mean it's important. It's a lot of people moving fast ain't going nowhere. You ever see people just flying down the expressway, just moving all kind of fast? They going 85, 90 miles per hour. And then you catch up to them and they done got off the exit and went to McDonald's. Seriously? Or they pulled into Kroger. For real? Like, don't confuse moving fast with importance. You need to strive to be intentional with all of your movements. And this is something my wife and I talk about all the time. She's like, you know what? I just realized, like, you don't make decisions very quickly. I don't do nothing very quickly anymore. That's one of the ways that I'm not the same that I used to be, especially after I turned 40. I got to marinate on stuff now. I got to think about on stuff. I got to really sit with something. I don't make decisions quickly anymore. I make decisions with so much other, how you say it? There's so many things at stake when I make a decision. Because now I'm not just making decisions for me, or I'm not just making decisions for me and Cece. Now I'm making decisions for my children, the well-being of my home. I'm making decisions for the business. Like, I can't just, you know what I'm saying? I can't just get up and move. No. Got to be cautious. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to look at the areas. I want you to take 10 minutes. I want you to look at all your areas that you need to bring into alignment with each other. And I want you to identify any aspects of those areas where you are confusing urgency with importance. Urgency with importance. Remember, you can reference Proverbs 19:2. Desire without knowledge is not good. How much more will hasty feet miss the way? Hasty feet. You're moving fast, but you ain't going nowhere. You moving real fast. You can't even keep up with yourself, but you ain't going nowhere. And you're confusing being busy with progress. It ain't the same. It's just not. I can tell you that the busiest times in my life resulted in net zero. Didn't gain much. I was just busy. I give you a statistic just because I like numbers sometimes. The last year that I was employed fully in corporate America was 2022. I don't think y'all ready for this. I was employed fully in 2022. When I look back at my Marriott rewards points and nights, the actual nights, not the rewards nights, not the bonus nights, the actual nights, I achieved 79 nights in a hotel room in some city in 2022. 79. That's 79 evenings that I was not able to eat dinner with my family. 79 evenings that I was not able to greet my wife when she got home. 79 times more than likely that I couldn't pick my kid up from the bus stop. I couldn't pick the twins up from daycare. 79 mornings that I could not help get the kids dressed and help brush their teeth. 79. Now, at the time, when I was in it, I thought that's what I was supposed to do. And guess what? It was. That was the job. That was literally the job. It was travel the country and talk about what I talked about, which was technology. That was the job. I did a great job. According to the job, I did a great job. But I was out of alignment with everything else. And I'm not just saying because you travel for work, I'm not saying you're not in alignment. What I'm saying is I personally did not have alignment. I didn't have alignment. So now fast forward to 2025, and guess how many nights I spent away from my house, away from my family, away from my wife, away from my kids. A grand total of 3. 3 nights. And based on being gone for 79 nights in 22 and being gone for 3 nights in 2025, I can tell you again that my net result of production and progress in 2022 was net zero. Those 79 nights didn't they didn't make anything better. The 3 nights, I appreciate it. And what got better was some of those other areas of alignment. Again, parenthood. Again, I was able to coach my kids' flag football team. We went to the championship, won. Thank you. Right? I was able to take my wife on a couple vacations. Won. Thank you. I was home every night, except for 3. I was home every night. Thank you. So that's what I want you to do. I want you to marinate on that. Marinate on the fact that you might be confusing urgency with importance. I want you to take 10 to 15 minutes, use an actual pen and actual paper, and write down any areas that you might be confusing urgency with importance, and bring those areas into alignment with a corrective action. Listen, this has been the School of HardKnox podcast. I'm your host, Mark W. Knox. Please, please, please share this episode with somebody that you think needs to hear it, because it's not just you. It's not just you. This has been great. Y'all stay warm. I'll see you next week. Thank you for listening to the School of HardKnox podcast. You can find our archives as well as new episodes by subscribing on Apple Podcasts. Questions or concerns or feedback about the show? Message me directly on Instagram at the School of HardKnox. That's KNOX. Thank you for listening. See you next week.